Hey, everybody. How are you doing tonight? Sorry we're running a little bit late. Having some technical difficulties with Ed's speakers and headphones and all that kind of stuff. So thanks so much for joining us. I see people are starting to pop into the chat. Yeah, so we may have a few technical difficulties going on. That's why we're late, a few minutes late. But we're still going to have a fun show, lots to talk about. And, some of the topics may not always be fun. But, hey, one team in Miami won. One team won. Anyways, I'm your host, Peter Brown. And as always, I can't do this show alone. I do it with everybody's favorite uncle, and that is Uncle Ed. Hey, Ed, how you doing? Now we can't hear you, Ed. Your microphone's not working either. So this is...
here we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now
right.
It's a little better. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I can hear myself, too.
Oh, that sucks.
So, guys, this is going to be a weird show. I don't know how it sounds for you guys, but it's like all I do is I hear myself coming right back at me.
Hopefully it won't be that bad.
Echo.
Let us know in the chat if it's really bad.
Echo. Yeah, it's Anyways. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing all right, Peter Brown. But sad as hell.
Yeah, it was not the result anybody was looking for, obviously, with Inter Miami. And man, the fans are definitely at it on social media. So we want to talk a lot about that. Want to talk about some of the things that the fans were saying on social media. Fans going after fans, right? And it's kind of funny. And the team is not performing the way anybody expected. So it was a fun game though to be at. So I mean that's the thing that's where the battle is coming up with amongst fans. I hear it's like those fans that are like us that are just happy to be there. Of course we want results, and then those people saying you don't know football. Right, so it's an interesting thing. Fans, the Inter Miami fan base is going nuts. But anyways, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about that. Also, hey, Miami FC won their home opener, so that's why I figured I would wear the jersey and the hat of the team that won. So Miami FC beat New York City 2 in their home opener. So congratulations to them. So I figured I'd sport their jersey to celebrate for them. But anyways, before we go too far, let's say a thank you to our sponsor, and that is Caneswear. Caneswear is located in Davie, Florida, right off of University, just south of 595. Go there and get the best deals in town for all your Inter Miami gear. And if it's too far to drive, don't worry. Go to caneswear.com. All orders over $99 ship for free. Use FMTV 10 to save 10% off. And... new stuff coming in all the time at Caneswear. Also, you can go to Caneswear and get the XBTO shirt icon logo on there if you want for $10 with any purchase. So go to Caneswear. Thanks so much to Caneswear. And like I've always said, you want to support us, support Caneswear. Oops, wrong camera. There we go. Hang on, Ed, you're muted because I had to do that. Go ahead. Now your microphone's not working. So, guys, this may be the kind of show where you may have to sit through some technical difficulties with us. But anyways, while we're waiting for Ed to figure this kind of thing out, we'll welcome some of you guys that are in the chat. So what I see first, and today, for a change, we're actually broadcasting on YouTube and also on our FMTV Twitter. So that's cool. So you can view us at either location. So let's say hi to, as always, One World, One Goal. Richard Greenberg, all the way up from Toronto. Bruno is joining us as well. Did Uncle Ed accidentally eat Higuain's last choripan? We love all those things. Kata says, pizza, One World, One Goal. Okay, they're talking amongst themselves. But welcome, Kata. Alex Z is in the house. Pablo is here. Chris Arjun, Ed, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but Chris Arjun found us in the stadium. Took a nice little shot of us at the stadium. And that's also welcome in Guyver. And scroll down, and that looks like that's it for today. Today we're gonna do the same thing we've done the last few weeks. We're gonna give out a Caneswear gift card, $20 gift card to somebody in the chat. But we've had 2 winners that have not reached out to us. So B King is in the house as well. So when we announce the winner, you'll have to reach out to us and DM us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram somehow, so we can get your full name and email address to get that gift card out to you. We've had a few winners that have not actually 2 winners, and to be specific, that have not reached out to us, so that they have not gotten their gift card. So you have to reach out to us in order to to get that. Chris Arjun says we were looking unhappy up there in the stands too. Well, we were having fun, but yeah, the results made us unhappy. Ed is still sitting here looking like he's looking at his settings, trying to figure this whole thing out. I'm not sure.
I think I figured it out.
I can hear you, Ed.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Took me a while. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We got a little bit of a delay on your frozen now. Well, maybe it's going to work better now, but there was a little delay. But how you feeling, Ed? Let's test this out.
Oh.
Say something.
Something. How's that look?
Well, at least we can hear you. Your mouth movements are not matching up with the voice, but at least we can hear you. We can understand you, and you can hear me. So
it's always something, Peter Brown. It's always something. But hopefully, we won't have this little defect next time. But
don't mess with the settings.
I'm gonna take since the team. That's what happened. I messed with the settings before the show, and that's what messed us up. But I'm gonna take the blame, Peter.
Yes, and so that's Ed, this is the shot that we used here, right here, because Ed shows up to the game late, right? For whatever reason. Got family things going on. He shows up late, but he shows up, and so that's a great thing, right? He shows up. Literally as you're walking up the stands, Ed, they score the first goal. As you're walking up the stands, score the first goal.
And one of our listeners on the way up, he said hello to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I listened to you guys." I was like, "Well, thanks for listening." I was trying to take my grandkid up with me, and I turn around and I'm like, gold. So I raise my hand up thinking it's Inter Miami, and it's LAFC that scored.
It is. And when my wife looked at you, first thing out of her mouth was, it's Ed's fault.
Yep. As soon as I walked up, that was the first thing that came out. And I was like, and I think she was the one. That's the perfect name for your show on Sunday.
She did say that. And we were all sitting up there. Here was another shot that I think you took of me and Julio. This is how we were feeling watching the game. Not feeling the best watching the game.
Good feeling.
Hat turned around backwards because it was a windy game, Ed.
Yeah, man, my hat almost fell off a couple of times. We barely got wet, and it's kind of funny because I took both my grandkids. And I was trying to cover one of them up, and I moved for a little bit, and she's like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. She pushed me back to cover her so that she didn't get wet.
Yeah, the rain. So as we were looking at the pictures of us watching the game, I found this picture of our 2 owners watching the game. They don't look exactly happy either.
They are not. So far in 3 games, we only have 1 point. We tied at home, we lost at home, we lost away. That's expected, but this is definitely not becoming our castle. This is not our fort. We are definitely not defending that fort. And
Kata here is saying that the fans were louder too. Now I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that based off of where we sit. We sit pretty much in the middle of the two fan groups that were the support visitors
Yeah.
and the our supporters. And look, I will tell you, LAFC was loud and they did bring it, and it was impressive to see the numbers that they brought, singing in the rain, everything like that. But I would not say, as being in the stadium, that they were louder. I'm not sure if Kata was in the stadium or not, but I didn't think they were louder. But they were still a really good traveling supporters group. I got to say, hand it to them. Very, very good job on supporting their team.
And definitely the group that came with the most people so far. I haven't seen even in the small time that we've had our team. They seem to have brought the people this time around. So I'm kind of grateful that my nephew wasn't able to fly over to Miami, because he would have been making fun of me.
Yeah. So
he's from LA. That's what I'm saying. He's from LA.
No, I get it.
When I went to the LAFC game, he was all happy. So he would have, thrown it in my face.
Right. Well, where is the to chat? So let's get this up. Everybody, if you want to call in, I've got a couple voicemails already, but if you want to call in, 786-474-4435, leave your thoughts and opinions on the game, about one of the big topics, Ed, that I keep seeing over and over again, and I think this has got to be the biggest topic tonight, besides everything being your fault. There is one other person that everybody seems to be blaming. And that's not the players, well, other than Higuain, and we could talk about that too. But everybody is fire Neville, sack Neville. Right here, Esteban Dido, who is like one of our winners that hasn't reached out to us. Phil Neville must be fired as soon as possible before this football club becomes complacent again and the fans start to flock away. They weren't there, so I kind of feel like they've already flocked. In some ways, some of these fans have already flocked away.
And that was one of the topics that we had when we were up in the stands. Peter was saying, "Oh, grandkid, she wants to come in." And I was saying that one of the topics we were talking about was like, what a terrible time to raise the prices on such a bad product.
Yes. So I mean, that was a big complaint during the offseason, is the fact that the team raised their prices, and I get why they did it and everything. I mean, everything's, I get it. But what bad timing. You think you might want to wait to raise prices till the team is actually decent, right? At least better than the dumpster fire that they are, right?
Right. Yeah, because right now, they're not doing good. Granted, Peter, I didn't get to see the first half, because I showed up basically 5 minutes till the end of the first half. So you're gonna have to tell me how the first half looked.
I mean, it was pretty even. A lot of people would tell you that Inter Miami played a little bit better. I think it was in the first half that Mata had a good shot on goal, but I don't think either team really was overly dangerous in the first half. I think we had a good deal of possession here and there, but nothing overly exciting. My takeaway after the first half was it was kind of a boring game. So so we had a lot of other things to talk about during the game. But again, going back to the ticket pricing, it was there's a little over 11,000 people that supposedly showed up. It looked like possibly less. They always over-report at all sporting events. So 11,000. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the list of like the attendance for all the games this weekend. It's probably not up yet because all the games haven't been played. But we're going to be at the bottom. We're going to be near the bottom. We're going to be there with FC Dallas, who traditionally has a low crowd. And that was when I was talking about, before the game with our friend Julio, is that how is it someplace like Charlotte, and we talked about this last week too, how is it that they get such a big crowd? Atlanta gets such a big crowd when Atlanta doesn't have a great record of supporting teams either. You could, so I know we're bad, but it still should be a better crowd than it is. But when I say all that, and then I read the comments amongst so many supporters, there are so many supporters that say, "Screw this team. I'm not going to go if I'm not going to go and see a good product." I, of course, don't agree with them because I'm going to go win or lose. Sure, I prefer for them to win, but I'm still having fun. I'm still supporting my team. I like hanging out with my friends, and it's a good day out. But you know, there are so many people that are like, screw that. I've got other places to spend my money, and I don't need to pay $30 to park to see this team play the way they've played. And then Ed, you've got fans going after each other, where some fans are more like sounding like me, like, hey, support the team no matter what. The whole thing that trust the process has become a joke amongst going after each other.
Yeah, they're saying, how long are we going to trust the process?
What process is what they're saying?
There's no process. Man, it's tough to be in Phil Neville's shoes right now because what can he say? He's 3 games in. We only have 1 point, as I was saying, and it doesn't seem like we've got. You just told me when was it right before we left the game? You're like, at least we've got Cincinnati coming, and then I don't know if you saw the scores. Cincinnati actually won.
I watched that game earlier today. I watched Cincinnati. Man, today was such a beautiful day. I took the, I did some chores around the house and stuff like that. And one of my chores I decided to do was to just kind of hose off the pool deck and everything like that, and just get it nice. And not that it's a little chilly to go in the pool, but it's still a nice place to hang out. So then grab the iPad, grab a beverage, and watch that game.
Do you have a picture that he said Peter sends us a picture where he's like chilling in front of the pool with a beer?
Well, it wasn't a beer. It's the kind of beverage you guys like to make fun of me for.
Oh yeah, the seltzer thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I don't have that picture here.
That would have been funny. But you've got one, right?
I do have one. Obviously, I sent it to you. But it was such a beautiful day to sit there, and so yeah,
What do you guys think? Manly drink seltzers or girly drink?
It's not about it.
Put it down in the chat room, guys.
Look, it's not about it being manly or not manly. It's about it being low calorie. It just.
It sounds girly to me because you're trying to, maintain that figure.
I am, Ed. I am. I am trying to. But it was so long story to say, as I'm killing time just so you guys can, so I can goof off and show you my day at the
there it is. There it is. Watching Orlando get beat, which is always a good thing, but we're surprised because
at this point
Cincinnati we're supposed to get 3 easy points.
Yeah, at this point you can see Cincinnati was winning 1-0, but it was such a beautiful day, so I had to sit and watch that.
Show off.
Yeah.
Show off.
Yep. But it was such a beautiful day, but I was watching Cincinnati because that's our next opponent. And Cincinnati's always been, for the last several years, been the joke of the league, and now we're right there with them. They won. They won their game. I'm trying to
an away game, I must add, at Exploria Stadium up in Orlando. So, and here you're telling me that it's 3 easy points, Peter. We're going to play away to a team that just beat our main rival.
I didn't say it's going to be easy points. Not now, Ed. Because here we are in the standings. Montreal's in last place, and I would say Montreal may be in last place because they're probably focusing most of their attention on the Champions League because they're in the Champions League. They got a game on, I think, Wednesday.
Right.
Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Charlotte's at the bottom, expected, brand new team, and then we're right there above them, and then Cincinnati's above us because Cincinnati is won a game, and we didn't.
Wow.
So there's that, Ed. So
we're not doing good.
Nabil Janania is saying we suck, so that's why we don't fill up the stadium. Esteban is saying
that's one reason.
Esteban's right about this. I thought about it too. Yikes, we are already in the Miami Fusion last year of existence attendance numbers. And for Miami Fusion, that was a bump. That was when our numbers were going up, though. A lot of people would say, well, it was a 1:30 game, and that played a part because people don't want to go to a 1:30 game. But man, I think there's just excuses.
Yeah, if you support no matter what time.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people that were also working, and they're like, saying they can't make it that early, and I understand that, but definitely for a Saturday. I mean, what else you got going on a Saturday? I mean, there's a lot to do in South Florida, but
yeah, of course there's. But there's a lot to do in other cities as well, and they're getting fans. Bruno says,
well, not in Charlotte. In Charlotte, they got nothing to do. That's why they get 70,000 people in the stadium.
Maybe. Bruno is saying Higuain's done. The league is much faster and more athletic compared to Valderrama days. We can't have a slow number 10. And it's funny is I thought about that while watching Higuain. He was yelling at players for not putting the ball at his feet, which is what which is what Valderrama used to do. Valderrama used to yell at people and tell him, you got to put it at my feet, because he was not going to make any runs. And Higuain's doing the same thing now. Now, I think Higuain is acted, behaved better this year than he did last year. But still, the frustration starting to come out. So I saw one person on Twitter was suggesting that he gets benched next week. Do you think Phil Neville has the balls to bench Higuain?
I think he might. From what I heard, I think I saw somewhere on the internet. It might have been Bruno who put it up. That looks he might have gotten hurt. Don't know if it's a big hurt for him not to play the next game, but it might be a good excuse.
It's at least a good excuse.
It might be a good excuse to sit him.
And I hadn't seen Phil this upset in a while. Let's start talking about Phil a little bit. We'll bring up his picture. Now, this is not that picture, but this is an upset Phil. So I grabbed this one. But when you watched his press conference, I had not seen Phil as upset as I had after this game. He is pretty upset. He, obviously a question was asked to him specifically about Higuain, the way he's playing, and Neville was saying that, our big players need to play big, and they're not. Basically, that's not a quote, but he said something like that. They're not playing at the level they're supposed to be playing at, and that's the expectation. He was mad, and then there was the conversation about Higuain, the fact that now he's playing as a number 10. Phil says Higuain has the same expectations this year as he did last year. He's not necessarily playing as a 10, even though he's wearing a 10, according to Neville. And that he's still expected to score goals, but he dropped back a lot last year as well, and this year is doing the same thing. But this year he's clearly playing more trying to play as a 10 more, and I think at times I felt like he's looked good doing that, but he gave up this game. He didn't play well. He had very little effort. I mean, I don't know if I might have seen the cigarette hanging from the end of his lip. I'm not sure, but it might have been there.
At least one of them vapes or something.
Yeah,
right, that people are doing nowadays. But yeah, Peter, he definitely looked frustrated out there. It was, I think he got hurt or something because he was kind of wobbly. But he's definitely no Valderrama. He's not playing so far that number 10 position that we were hoping he would play. As an actual number 10. I think we need that playmaker. He's definitely not in the role for that. I think he needs to play next to a fast forward with maybe Campana. Campana's not getting the service that you expect from a number 10 either. So we're not scoring.
Right. Troy is he's getting depressed. I'm getting depressed. Any good news? Gotta make this bigger. No, Troy, there really isn't. Other than, hey, I'm wearing the good news. Miami FC won. If you want to,
if you want to talk about Miami FC, but I know most of the people that we've got here, they're Inter Miami fans. But we could talk about Miami FC. I didn't see the game. Did you?
No. Yes, I actually did see the game. Hey, with Miami FC, thinking of Miami FC, and we're not going to talk about that much because I know most people don't want to. But Remember the Fort Lauderdale player Ricardo Lopez? What was his name? Ricardo Espin. Ricardo Lopez Espin or Espin Lopez, whatever it was.
Yeah,
He was a good player in our
yeah.
first year as Fort Lauderdale CF. Everybody wanted to see him get a start with the first team. Never happened. He's actually calling. He's the color commentator for Miami FC now.
Oh wow, man!
Yeah.
And he's still young, so you would have figured he still had some playing years. He was tall,
Yeah.
Kind of sad to see his career to be over so quick. Yeah, I don't know what happened, why they never gave him the opportunity with Inter Miami to play, but I think he deserved it.
So let's go back to Neville. I agree. So the question, everybody's yelling that Neville needs to be fired, Ed. So guys in the chat, I know I haven't been focusing a whole lot on the chat. I'm pulling it up here and there, but. So we're 3 games in. We got 1 point, one embarrassing loss. This one I would not consider an embarrassing loss. LAFC is a good team. It's not an embarrassing loss. They only 2-0. And I'm a firm believer that with all the
plus we got the red card,
right? With all the changes that were made with this team, you have to have some patience. It's going to take a while. There's too many changes for them to gel overnight. But the fans don't want to hear that. The majority of the fans don't want to hear that, and they're calling for Neville's head. So, does the team listen? I mean, you see Beckham there on the he doesn't look happy.
And Beckham came in for that vote that never happened. They were supposed to vote on Miami Freedom Park, and so he showed up for that. They ended up postponing that for April 1st. Peter, your
April Fool's
your
Day?
favorite day, April Fools. So yeah, so he came in, he watched the game. Hopefully he'll stick around for a bit. Maybe start telling people what's up and fire some people, right? You want somebody fired, don't you, Peter Brown?
I mean, I have said that in the past. See, the weird thing is, when it comes to Neville, I mean, I think we need to. I had said in the beginning of the season he needs to have at least the first third of the season. If by the first third of the season we are the dumpster fire that we currently are, he's got to go. I think you do need to give him a little bit of time because so many changes were made. But giving him more time, you're also losing fans left and right. And how much do the owners really pay attention to that? I don't know. I don't know if they want the fans, they want them to be in the stands, but do they really listen to the fans and say, well, they're all complaining, so let's we don't want to lose them all, so we're going to have to make a choice. I don't know.
No, it's going to be. I'm with you on the sense that I think he needs a chance. I think he needs a 1/3 of, like you said, 1/3 of the season. And if we continue with these with losing games left and right, yeah.
Don Bear says no clear structure. Coach has to go. My wife watching the game within the first few minutes, she just asked if they have a plan, and she's not the biggest soccer fan, but she took a look and right off the bat, she's like, "Does this team even have a plan?" Because she was watching and it didn't look like they had a plan. That was assessment. So, even she can see it. And again, she knows football a little bit, but I mean, she's, a casual fan.
Well, she's Brazilian. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's a casual fan, so she would admit that. But even she saw it. So,
and she was yelling quite a bit, man. I've never seen her so vocal.
So Bruno feels that, yeah, right. Bruno feels that I'm calling for Neville's head by mid-May if things don't change. Okay. I mean, that sounds like about a third of the season, right? I would agree. I would think by then he's had enough time. This is supposed to be his team, and if by then that we are as bad as we look currently, if we don't see forward progress, then he's got to go. But then if you do that in the middle of the season, you're now bringing in an interim coach. So you're most likely promoting someone like Jason Kreis. And Jason Kreis does have experience coaching in MLS. He had success with Real Salt Lake, did not have success with New York or Orlando. So nobody's really excited about that. But he's your interim coach, and some interim coaches turn into the head coach. but they can, I guess. So you're basically in some ways throwing in the season. If you unless the team, sometimes players rally behind the interim coach and they play better, but I mean, basically you're kind of throwing in the season at that point. But the positive, and what I was telling my wife is the positive they did that is they can publicly do a search for their coach. Like now, if they wanted to go and find a coach, they got to do it secretly and hope he doesn't find out and stab him in the back and all that good stuff that happens in football. But
well, look, what the chat room, they're already starting to throw stuff out there on possible coaches.
Bielsa is one is one I'm seeing come up.
Is available.
Yeah. F. Sprags here says they have some good players, but no team chemistry. And that was something they were supposedly working on a lot in the offseason, was the chemistry amongst the players. But all right, Ed, we have a few voicemails. Why don't we listen to a voicemail?
Let's do it.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
Hello, this is Ted from West Palm Kendall Creek, located in Broward-Dade County. Listen, guys, whenever I call in, I tend to ramble. I even called in a little bit early, like today. I called in a day early just because the game's fresh on my mind.
This is right after.
I'm probably going to ramble again right now because I have not collected my thoughts because this team is so disjointed. I think my voicemails represent the team quite well, actually. I cannot believe that these are professional players who are still giving up really bad giveaways in their own half. Like professional players just passing to the wrong team over and over again. That's one thing, if you remember in the first season, that happened a lot. And I guess that's kind of understandable since they were a new team. If you remember, Ben Sweat did that a lot. That's why I was really happy when they got rid of him. He would try to dribble out of the back and just have it stolen or make a bad pass. It happened over and over again today. It happened last week. It happened in the game against Chicago. These guys cannot maintain possession. They've got one goal in 3 games, and they're completely incompetent at almost everything. Gonzalo Higuain is the only one with any bit of actual real skill, I would say. However, he is really getting slow, and he has no mobility. And maybe you can get away with that back when El Pibe used to stand around and just make these brilliant passes all over the place. I don't know if MLS is like that anymore. I don't know if world football is like that anymore. I think you have to be athletic to play now. So I will say the bright spots. I hope Jean Mata is not injured. I know he had to leave the game. I hope it's not a long-term injury, but he seems to be one of the few competent people who can actually pick out a pass. I do like him. Yedlin looks okay. At least we didn't have to see your boy Noah out there. I know you guys like him, but even if you listen to the other podcast, it was obvious by the second game he was a little bit in and over his head. He's going to be really good. He's going to be a very good player in the future. He's not ready yet. He just isn't. Maybe as a spark off the bench. To be honest with you, this is everything about this team is just so bad. Phil Neville has to go. I defended him last year, but some of his tactics are just bizarre. They've scored 1 goal in 3 games, as I said earlier. And I blame Ed Serrano for a lot of this, to be honest with you, because he did all that work to get the team down here. I blame both Ed and Peter for a lot of what we're seeing.
See, he got cut off there because he started blaming the wrong person, which is me. He needs to keep you in the sights, not me.
Somebody needs to take the blame, Peter Brown. Somebody needs to take the blame, and since nobody else wants to take the blame with the team, I'm going to take the blame.
You'll fall on the sword.
It's my fault, and Julio Caballero's fault too, because he's one of the guys that wanted to bring a team to Miami. So but I'll take it. I'll take it for the team. I'll take it. It's my fault. We should have never had a team. So everybody that's saying, you don't want to support this team, then let's take it all back now. Let's not have
Screw
a
it.
team so we can't have this podcast and we can't, talk about soccer and complain because our team sucks. At least we've got that, Peter Brown.
Exactly. That's the
complain.
thing. That's the thing. I know some people. I know that. Trying to think of some people that like to give me a hard time, like Esteban Dito in the chat. They sometimes we're a little bit too positive and sometimes a little too hopeful and not as maybe realistic as some people might want us to be. Because at the end of the day, I'm still happy to go to the games, and win or lose, I'm having fun. I want to win, of course. It's more fun when we win, but I'm having fun regardless. And so, if this team didn't, if they weren't here, we wouldn't be doing this. And this is fun. It's fun doing it with you guys. So
I'm telling all those people that want to jump off the bandwagon already. I mean, at least we've got this.
So that's the thing I don't.
There's nowhere to go but up, Peter.
Yeah,
no way to go but up.
I always feel like, look, if you like the sport and you like you'll go support your team, win or lose. But I know, and this is something I learned a long time ago because I had gotten in arguments with even some of my friends about supporting and whether you should, I was supporting Miami FC, the old Miami FC. And then they turned into the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Some people decided to no longer support them because they only wanted MLS, right? And one of our good buddies and I disagreed on that. And I said you have to support what's local. You have to support the team that you have while we work towards the dream, which is MLS. But I learned, I think, at that point that you can't tell people how to be fans. I got mad at him for not supporting Fort Lauderdale Strikers, who were currently the team here, and that was, you just can't. You can't get mad at other people because I don't understand these people that are giving up on the team. That don't want say screw it and I don't want to go to the game. They're just not worth my money. I don't get those kind of people. I don't get that kind of thinking. But at the same time, they probably don't get my way of thinking, and they think I'm wrong. And that's the funny thing is when I'm reading some of these chats is in these comments and on Twitter and Facebook that people calling out each other like, oh, if you think this is fun, you don't know football. Like, oh, okay, sir. You're the end-all, be-all of football knowledge, right? So, and yeah, B. King brings up a good point. Maybe you and I, for example, are a little more patient with this team because of what, like B. King says here, and that is, I remember the pain when the Fusion folded. Thus, I have patience with this product. Yeah, Ed, you and I and have lived through losing a team, and so have some of the other people in this chat.
Yeah, and so the worst feeling ever to have that and not to have a soccer team for over a decade. And so, well, we did have other teams, but we didn't have a Major League Soccer team. So, we know what the pain is now. We're seeing better quality soccer. We've got owners with deep pockets that we didn't have back in the Fusion days. So, we're here to stay.
Yes.
As fans, we got to support. Yes, we're going to lose. Yes, we're going to criticize, but don't jump off the bandwagon because I have a good feeling that in the future.
When some of these fans like us go online and expect more and call the team out, I think that's fair. If you're paying your money to go sit in the stands and cheer for this team, you do, in my opinion, you earn the right to bitch a little bit. So if you... because you're there putting your money where your mouth is, right? So I'm going to be there, but I'm going to come here on Sunday nights and tell you that I'm pissed off at times, right? So, but I'm going to the games. So I think if you stop going to the games, you'll lose your right to bitch. That's the same thing like when it comes to like voting. People, don't want to be part of the voting process. Well, if you're not voting for the president, then you can't complain who the president is, in my opinion. So the same thing, and I'm not going to go down the politics. I'm just using that as an analogy that you can't complain if you're not going to be part of it. So it's Kata says it's okay to boo at them. True. Yeah. If the entire fan base turns on them and starts booing them at the stadium because they're not, I got no problems with that. But I also expect you to come back next week. So,
Right.
anyways, we have
show up late like I did.
don't
and get
show up
blamed
late.
for it,
Don't show up late.
for the losing.
Yeah. All right. Another voicemail here.
At
We
least
got
I
one.
showed up.
You did.
Hey guys, Pablo from Arizona here.
Nice.
First of all, Ed, thanks for dropping that vlog from Austin. That was a lot of fun to watch, man. I had a great time out there. So just a quick thought from yesterday's game. I just don't understand Phil's post-game comments, man. It's just, I understand you want a little bit more production or a lot more production out of Higuain, but to sit there and say, you know, that your role hasn't changed, it has. Like, now you're asking somebody to create where you signed him to score goals, right? I think, you know, spend less time talking about Higuain and start to take the blame of continuing to give Break Shea opportunities, man. Like, come on. Like, everybody in the league knows this guy, you know, just cannot. He's just a liability in the back, you know. So, you know, if they would have won that game against Chicago, I'm sure the mood would have been a little bit different now. But I just kind of feel like Phil's starting to feel the pressure a little bit more, and
Yes.
I think his easy scapegoat is looking at Higuain, whereas he needs to kind of look at himself and just kind of, you know, do something different. And I'm glad Break Shea in a way got the red card that we don't got to see him next week. But come on, Phil, like, take some of the blame and let's move forward, please. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week.
Great. Thanks for listening all the way in Arizona. You know, Breck definitely did not have two bad games from Breck Shea. He was definitely partially to blame for that goal, and then he does a professional foul. And to me, when I saw that foul, it's one of those things you go, well, he had to do it. The guy was, but I thought it should have been a yellow card. But you know, because I kept saying to you guys, was he the last man in defense? Because to me, it looked like Yedlin was going in so fast. But I watched the replay, and technically he was the last man but Yedlin was there within a blink of an eye because he's fast. He was darting back there. So that's why live it kind of questioned, like, wait a minute, he wasn't the last man of defense, so he doesn't deserve the red. But in reality, I guess he did. He didn't argue it. You know, he knew. But he's had two bad games. I'm a big fan of Breck, but as you could tell, I did take his photo down tonight. You know.
Oh, yeah. He's down. And you going to replace his picture with somebody? It's because of the red, right? You took him out?
I took it down just because, again, it's two bad games. He hasn't earned the honor to be on the wall. But so yeah, we just got the stadium photo up. Yeah. What do you think about Breck Shea? Do you agree that he is part of the problem and that he's done, according to Pablo?
Well, it's been a couple of games, and you know, last season he was, you know, one of our better players. I think, you know, I think he's more of an attacking player at this point. But yeah, I mean that he'll definitely sit out those couple of games and rethink what he's doing, but that'll give time for somebody else to take over that spot. And I think we've got some players that are coming off of injury that might be able to fill in those shoes, and you know, it might be a good thing.
Yeah, and also his point about the coach not really taking responsibility. I'll say this. I mean, I watched.
I already took it. I already took the responsibility.
Right,
Peterson.
Ed took
He's
the
not gonna take it.
responsibility,
It's my
so
fault.
he doesn't have to.
So.
But you know, in his defense, he only answers the questions that are asked, and people asked about Higuain. So he talks about Higuain. I mean, he could obviously turn it around and say, at the end of the day, I have to take full responsibility. But I think he does. I think at the end of the day, I think Phil's a really good guy. I think he does take responsibility. I think he's beating himself up, and he's also mad at his players, at the whole thing. I think he's a good guy, but doesn't mean he's a good coach. But I think he's a good guy, and I like him. I probably would love to hang out and have a beer with him. Doesn't necessarily make him a good coach. Constantly, we were playing so much with 3-5 in the back, and that was working for a minute, and then it wasn't. And then we're playing with 4, and you're putting people in the back. That Breck Shea had a bad week last week. Granted, he was in the middle, and he's out of position there, but he was back in defense again this week, and he had another bad week. And to the caller's point, is we definitely will see what we look like without Breck next week. But and good question by Jazz Fusion. Where is Gibbs?
Wasn't he supposed to be in better, better now? Or
yeah, I thought he was better.
What happened?
Coach said it's made it sound like we would expect him to play. He has been injured, but and then there was a comment earlier about Robbie Robinson. Like, where in the world is Robbie Robinson? Where's Waldo? So
yeah, whatever happened to him, man? I totally forgot about that kid.
Injury, but
it's been a while.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to, Hey, but here's the thing.
To get better.
Yeah, here's the thing. Kata is saying the team is falling apart after conceding the first goal. Need leaders to pull them up. I would disagree with that a little bit. This year, and some people were commenting in here that this team still feels better than last year's team. I will say this team has the fight. Neville kept saying, in the beginning of the season, that last year's team couldn't take a punch. They couldn't take a punch. Whenever they got punched, they had their heads down. We fought back this game. They were trying. I mean, Yedlin, I think, had a pretty good game. He was going at it hard, especially in the end. I think this team definitely had a lot more fight than last year. So I don't know if I would totally agree that we fell apart after conceding a goal this game, at least. I think they're fighting way more than they have in the past. Right.
Well, a lot of people are going to, agree or disagree with that, but we definitely need to get some of these other players. Hopefully Gibbs will come into the next game,
right.
And we need to find out what's happening to the other guys that are either hurt. Are they coming back? Are they still hurt? We definitely need some help in the back.
Absolutely. All right, we got another voicemail here.
Hey, it's Italia. One goal. Just calling real quick. Because every time I call, of course, I bring back the Fusion days and our wonderful Diego Stern 17. But I'm not going to do that today. But my point is, these forwards and midfielders, your number 10s, your number 9s of the world, they are a little bit sensitive. They all want to score. Who doesn't want to score? But I don't like the extra pressure we're putting on Gonzalo. And I don't like the extra pressure we're putting on Coach Neville. Now, this is a little bit of a weird take, so stick with me for a minute. But I think that we can turn this around. The MLS is not as intense as, you see how Messi and Neymar got booed from PSG. Cristiano Ronaldo's been booed for the last 10 years, and he turns around and scores a hat trick, So I think this can be turned around because the MLS is not the level of competitiveness where, only Real Madrid or Barcelona can win. This league can really change on a dime. Things can happen. It can be switched around. I think we need to give them a little bit more time to get their footing. And I do think they should keep things private. I don't like them throwing a player under the bus. Because, obviously, if you're getting paid even $1 million a year, you better be putting in 15, 20 goals, let alone getting paid more than that. But the point is, I think we need to everybody take a breath and let's see what they can put together between, now and June, and let's see if they can. We're stuck with those 3 DPs. Thank you, Tubby. We're stuck with them until 2023. They're not playing for us, 2 of them. They're not even on the sidelines, but they're still on our books. So everybody take a breath. All right. Love you guys. Love the show. Bye.
Taking a breath, Ed. Yeah, I'm taking a breath. I agree. I agree. Everybody does need to take a breath. Give them some time. We are, but, to the complainers' points, and I am one of those at times, that sometimes it doesn't feel like there's a plan. We keep hearing the same things over and over and over and over again. But we just, at the end of the day, I do agree that we do need to give it time. Again, like I think Bruno said, give them at least until May and then see where we are. If there's no forward progress, I guess it's time to pull the plug. What I don't want to be is like, Ed, a lot of our fans for Inter Miami are South American fans. And in a lot of South American teams, especially in Mexico, which is not South America, but whatever. There's still North America. But, a lot of Latin American countries, they fire their coaches after like 3 losses. I mean, they'll go through 3 coaches in a season, right? Especially in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be...
Yeah, Mexico, they'll have like 3 or 4 coaches in the season.
I don't
That's
want...
how they are.
And I think when that type of thing happens, there's never any real forward progress. You don't actually get anywhere until you finally maybe get lucky or something, but you don't have time to build. And so I don't want to become that kind of club. That's my concern. But I guess, if after a third of the season or a little bit more or whatever, you don't see something, I guess you do need to kind of make a choice and pull the plug or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a firm believer that we need to give them a little bit more time. If anything, at least halfway through the season, and then maybe bring in somebody else if we continue to be as bad as we've been. I was a little hopeful after the first game because it looked like okay, fine, we got a tie. We're just starting to warm up. But we got slaughtered in Austin. That one hurt because I made the trip. Which, by the way, I'm glad you guys liked the vlog. We're gonna keep trying to do that, and I'm gonna take a moment, Peter Brown, to say while we're talking about vlogs, I want to bring more of those videos, but unfortunately my budget can't do it. Our budget can't do it. So if you guys want to donate in the super chat or something, we appreciate it. That'll go direct to my beer and lap dance fund. I mean my travel vlog called fund, so we can get out there and give you guys some quality videos.
Does your wife watch this?
She will, and she's probably going to get on me because of that, because of my little slip.
Because I know mine does.
So,
I know mine does.
She'll be like, "What? What beer and lap dance fund? What are you talking about? Why are you asking for money for that?" Honey, it was just a joke.
Yeah,
seriously. So, but yeah, man, I enjoyed doing that video, and she and my wife enjoyed going out there too. So she's like, "I'll go to another one." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, if you pay for it."
Yeah, and we're talking. Ed and I are talking about possibly going to a future game soon. So then we could bring you more content and stuff like that. And we do owe Pablo a vlog from Drive Pink, which I was thinking about doing yesterday. I was thinking about doing it, but it was so windy, and it would have been interesting to do it just because of the rain and may have some drama, some excitement. But it was so windy that I know that on the microphone, all you're going to hear is, it's going to sound terrible.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that, because that was one hell of a storm. For a moment there, we couldn't even play.
It was so funny because the storm came in like it was like 80 something degrees, and then within a few minutes, it was in like low 70s. It's like the temperature dropped so fast. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody kept saying, "Oh, there's a cold front coming in tonight." Yeah, but it's not coming in like this minute. Anyways. All right, Ed, we have one more voicemail, and then I think we'll call it a night. Here we go.
Cool.
This is Ted from Pavoni Creek again, and I'm on Mitchell Rivera Boulevard. And I just wanted to say one more thing. You know who else we should blame for this? Is Marcelo Clare. Now, I know you guys are friends with him or whatever, so you can't say too much. And I respect that. But if he didn't turn in Jorge Mas and David Beckham or whatever, if he didn't go to the league and turn us in for cheating, first of all, this is South Florida. Of course we're going to cheat. That should just be baked into the team. Like, Miami cheats. As a city, we're a bunch of cheaters. So why is that even an issue? How did Marcelo Clare think that we were going to do things legit anyway? Honestly, Jorge Mas should punch him in the face, because we could have 6 or 7 DPs right now off the books if he and that other guy didn't turn us into the league. So let's put some blame on Marcelo Clare too.
And with all that, we would still have Tubby here, and he might have been like GM of the year, because
if
Cotta likes
they would have kept it on the down low. And
Exactly.
yeah, kind of like, yeah, that was funny, man. I punch him in.
punch him in
But
the face.
I'd love to get Marcelo Clary on the show to
Yeah.
hear his version of it, and we're gonna work on that.
Yeah,
Right now he's not working, so
he's available, is what you're saying.
he's available. I think he's got time.
He's got time. I don't know if he might have an NDA or something, or he can't talk about things. But Esteban also has something about that, saying, "I will say it over and over again: losing the original founding investor owners, Marcelo Gloria and Yoshi-san, is not something positive for this football club." Yeah, but when you rat out
a lot of money lost right there.
When you rat out your partners, and I talked about that a lot in one of our previous shows, that while I don't condone cheating, I have a bigger problem with ratting out your partners. Esteban
there's got to be a reason behind it. There's got to be a story behind it.
Yeah, it seems like Esteban takes offense to the comment. Peter, I disagree with that cheating comment. Being in Miami, I guess it has been culturally acceptable to want to cheat others in one way or another. No, not good for perspective. Esteban, I think tongue was firmly planted in cheek with that call. Just saying.
Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah,
but I still don't think you turn in your business partners. Let the league figure it out. Look, if we cheated and we got caught, fine, but don't turn in your business partners. I do agree with that. All right. I think now all we could do is wrap this show up and hope for the best in Cincinnati. The team is traveling to Cincinnati, and just real quick, let's just talk about.
I would have loved to go to. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I see some people talking about going to Cincinnati, that we should go there. Maybe. But, look, we got Cincinnati up next. Then we have Houston at home. So those are two winnable games. Houston's not playing great. Cincinnati, I don't know if they just got lucky in this game, but they do have a new coach in Pat Noonan, who was trained under Bruce Arena and then also trained up in Philadelphia Union team as an assistant in both LA Galaxy and Union. So, he's also a great player for New England. So I don't know if he's got this team turning around in the right direction. Maybe. We'll find out. And then Houston, they're not looking that great, but it'd be interesting to see them because they've got a Fort Lauderdale striker alum in Fafa Picault playing for them in Houston. But then it doesn't get any easier, Ed. We got New England, Seattle, Atlanta, New England again.
Oh, man.
So April is going to be a tough month for this team.
Yeah.
So they
look at that. And I wanted to go to Seattle, but yeah, it's my budget's a little
tight,
low right now.
Yeah.
But,
so
yeah.
It just those other games just proves the point of how important the Cincinnati game is and how important this Houston game is. We have to win those games in order to get, to have any kind of, because look, I'm really trying to get out of that shot. If we lose
yeah,
those games,
it's going to be, yeah, it's
if we lose
tough.
Those games and then lose all of April, Phil's gone, I think. I would assume. Maybe.
Right. You said you hope. Oh,
I started to say I hope because if we lose that many games, I guess you.
It's time.
It's time.
Wow.
So, all right. Esteban's still going back and forth with the snitching comment. All right, Ed. Do you have the ability?
Yeah, I like Alex Z is saying that they need to give me the locker room keys. I agree.
You're going to go in and set them straight, Ed?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell them what's up. Come on, guys. I didn't fight to get a team here for almost 20 years for you guys to give me this quality of play. Come on.
Go in there and say, hey, guys, do you know how much season tickets cost? Do you know how expensive it is to park here? You need to give me a better product, boys.
You guys need to give me a better product, man, because I spend a lot of money. I went to Atlanta to see them nail 5 goals in that net. Come on, man.
Right. Ed, do you have the ability to look at the chat?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you scroll through the chat and pick out a Caneswear gift card winner? And by the way, if you are a previous Caneswear gift card winner like Esteban, and and Troy, you guys never reached out to us, so we need your information so we can get you your gift cards.
I'm doing one of those. I'm going through
checks
right now, and wherever it falls, Kata wins.
Did Kata win the first one?
I don't know, but I guess he's got another one. Did he?
I don't know. All right, we'll go with that.
Well, but
It
yeah,
was an
there you
honest
go.
pick.
You can get some gas with a.
He can pay for some pay. Well, you can't pay for gas with that. It's a gift card to
Right.
Caneswear,
But
but
he can. Yeah. And did he win again? That's
I don't know. Was that
that was random. That was pretty random.
I don't remember who won the first week.
Oh, look, yeah, he did win it. He did win. He says, I
Okay,
can
he's
win again.
do it again. Do it again.
Not
Even
fair.
Kata's being honest and saying I can't win again. Not fair. Thank you, Kata, for being that good because we do want to spread it out.
Man, you're
we want to spread it out. So do it again, Ed.
that's
Do it
awesome,
again.
Nathan. Here we go. Here we go again.
I thought so.
all right.
Everybody's calling it out.
Bruni got it this time.
All right, Bruno, good friend of the show. So reach out to us
he got
on social media, DM us so we get your. Well, I mean, I know your full name, but your email address.
Send it out, and yeah.
So reach out to us,
Awesome.
Bruno, and on Jazz Fusion says he don't do social media.
Oh well.
Well,
Okay.
well, you got the thing is technically this is social media, but we need to get your information somehow if you do win someday, Jazz. So and that's just
I guess
the
we
way.
can give him your email, Peter.
That's the easiest
He'll send
way.
an email.
But giving my email out on the YouTube, does that just mean opening me up for a bunch of junk mail from a bunch of people that
And hate. A lot of hate.
Yeah. Ale Boss is here. I haven't seen him in a while. Ale.
Wow.
Good to see you here at the end of the show. All right. Yeah. Well, look, if you don't have, how do I comments? All comments.
Well, I wanted while you're looking through things, I'm going to say, thanks for everybody that watched the vlog. You could also see the video that I did live. It's inverted, and I tried to fix it, but unfortunately, YouTube for some reason doesn't let you flip or rotate the videos, man. And that used to be a feature that was in there, and they took it away. I have no idea why they took that out. There's no way of fixing it now. Eventually, I'll flip it, but you can see if you turn your head, you'll be able to see the video of the live game. Parts of the live game. That I was able to put on there, and you can see the vlog. So that's that's a good thing.
So I since I'm actually broadcasting this a little bit differently this time, so it won't allow me to chat from my main screen. So I'll just say it here online. I was gonna chat it; it's just easier. But I'll reach out to us on
social media
if you can.
Send us a quick message on Twitter, on
Send it to us on
Instagram,
Twitter,
Facebook.
Facebook, something like that, and we'll get it out to you. And because actually I was about to give you my email address, but I do have a problem with the show email address. I have to go and log in and do something with it. So maybe next week we'll give that out. But anyways, all right, everybody. We went a little bit long, but we were a little bit late starting it. It got a little. We got some bumps in the road.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, and Carlos here at the end was asking if Chris Henderson is starting to look for a replacement for Phil Neville. Maybe. But I don't think. I have a feeling if we look next week, the conversation may be the same. Fire Phil Neville. So tune in next week and see what we talk about. Could be the same thing. Anyways. Thanks so much for watching. Please go to Caneswear. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody.